All right, so I wanted to go over some of the creatures. These were not sold on card backs. These were sold in boxes, except for the Trash Compactor Monster, which came with the Death Star. The Dewback and the open-bellied Tauntaun are from my childhood. I still have my Wampa from my childhood, but the back of it melted off, so it's just in a box in the closet. But the rest of these I've bought as an adult, so we're going to take a closer look at each one of these. All right, so the Tauntauns are copyright 1979. These were from Empire Strikes Back on the Hoth planet. The one on the left here came out first. This one I bought as an adult, and it's complete. It's got the little bridle thing in the saddle. The figures, their legs went in that trap door right there, so it would look like they were riding on it. And this one, let's see if we can get a clear shot of the feet. There we go. Turn it over for you. So it's interesting because on the left it says D above the LFL 1979. And this has an A above the Hong Kong. And then this is the one that came out later. This is the one from my childhood. This, along with a few other figures, got some melting issues in a box over the years and ruined my Wampa. But this one, let's see, has the DLFL 1979, and this one has a C over the Hong Kong. And the open belly is this one. So in the movie, Han Solo, one of these died, and Han Solo slit the belly open so he could put Luke inside to keep him warm. These guys are pretty cool, and like I said, they came out in 1979, or that's the date. So, and I do remember some Empire Strikes Back toys coming out in 1979 before the movie came out. You know, when the first movie came out, they didn't have figures out in time for its release or even Christmas that year. But for the next two movies, they had figures out for them before the movies were even released. So these guys are an example of that. They came out in 1979. Empire Strikes Back came out in 1980. So those are my Tauntauns. All right, here's the Dewback. This came out 1979, I believe. And so it's from the original Star Wars movie. These were what you saw the stormtroopers riding on Tatooine in the desert. And I've had this one since I was a kid, and I loved it when I was a kid. I still do. I think it's complete. It's got the saddle. I don't remember if there was anything else. I don't think there was anything else that came with him. But there you have a look at the front. As you can turn his head by moving the tail. But Kenner did a good job on these, and I remember getting this when I was a kid and how cool I thought it was. Look at the tail, and I get a look at there we go. So this one's 1979, and there's a whole bunch of rigmarole on there about the patent and everything. But the Dewback, like I said, I've had it since 1979, and I still love it today. All right, so next we have the Hoth Wampa. Some of the boxes that it came in just said Wampa, some said Hoth Wampa. It's copyright 1981. And this one I got as an adult, but I do have the one from my childhood. But as I said earlier, it was one box of old toys. Some of them just melted, and like I said, it wasn't from heat or anything. It was just a weird chemical thing. But so the one from my childhood, it's in a box in the closet. The whole back is all melted off. So I don't want it in with the other figures, but I don't want to throw it away either. So it just sits in the closet. One of the things that's common with these is they can get really yellow, sometimes even orange. You know, just some of the minerals in the plastic oxidize over time. And this one's pretty white. The torso, you can see, is slightly darker than the legs, but it's, as Wampas go, it's pretty white. But they are prone to yellowing, so that doesn't necessarily always hurt its value. But there's the copyright date. Let's see. There we go. And 1981. It's hard to see down there, but this one, yeah, this one's nice and white. I used to have one that came with a Palitoy box. Palitoy was the UK company, so it had the Palitoy logo on it, and that one was pretty white too, but I sold it because I didn't have anywhere to put the box. But the Hoth Wampa, 1981, and very cool figure. All right, the trash compactor monster, also called the Dianoga. When I was a kid, I don't remember it being called that. I never heard that term until I was an adult and started buying these again, but Kenner may have called it that. It came with the Death Star. It was never sold by itself. I did have the Death Star when I was a kid. That was in the one box of toys from my childhood that didn't make it to adulthood with me. So I don't have anything left of the Death Star, but I did have this when I was a kid. This is cool. It's just a rubber figure, and there's its mouth. And kind of a ripoff of the Loch Ness Monster. This was swimming around in the trash compactor in the first Star Wars movie. And so the Death Star, I think that came out in 1978, if I remember right. It definitely premiered during the Star Wars movie, or the Star Wars era, 77, 78, 79. And so this one's pretty old, but very cool figure. This one's in nice condition. Sometimes they'll discolor a little bit. This one's hung in there pretty well over the years. Acquired this one as an adult. I have another one too that's a little bit more played with and a little more dull, but nonetheless, very cool figure. Anyway, that is the trash compactor monster. All right, I saved the best for last. This is the Rancor from Return of the Jedi. It was in Jabba's palace. Famously ate a Gamorrean guard and tried to eat Luke Skywalker. Biggest figure they made for Star Wars, that's for sure. And they did a good job on it too. It's got a switch back here that you can see makes his mouth open and close. There's the back. This one's in nice condition too. Not a real expensive figure. I don't even know what they go for nowadays. I bought this one a long time ago, and I didn't have it as a kid, so it was fun to get as an adult. One issue with these, you almost have to have it in this position to stand. Even if you bring this forward, it tends to lose its balance. And so they could have done a better job making it a little more stable, but once you get it in the right pose, it stands. But that's the Rancor, really cool figure. I just wanted to show where everybody was in my display. Up here on the top, I had to put some ships in that there. So there's the Dewback, and these guys look like they're doing push-ups, the Tauntauns, but they don't fit down in the display case. And then down here we go. There's the Wampa, the Rancor, those snowtrooper feet and arms that you see there. When I was a kid, I was walking home from a friend's house and I crossed the road, and on the curb, those pieces were there. Looked all over for the torso, never found it, but I always saved the arms and legs, so I just display them in there. And there's one Dianoga, and there's the other. So that's how I have them displayed. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if you do, please go ahead and subscribe and watch some more of them. I have a whole bunch of them on here now. Thanks a lot.